What's up, gamers? My name's Scyushi and we're back again some more Cube World. Man alive, that was my old intro like years ago when I played this game 6 years ago. So we've actually had a couple patches since the last video, but more importantly than any of that, I spent a couple hours going through the entire biome, and don't worry, I didn't end up completing any of this stuff. I just ended up marking it all on my map. Yeah. So I did end up going into this crypt and incidentally ended up getting some weird little treasure fire dude guy, right? So what he's gonna do is he'll show up here and there and actually let me know when there's treasure nearby. And first of all, I thought it was just gonna be for more important pieces of treasure. Like over here you see that there's a flute, there's also the spirit bell and stuff. We'll get into those possibly today. We'll see how much time we end up having. But I also found over here, I was just exploring, and let's actually check this out right now. It actually points you to random treasure that isn't marked on the map, because there's actually a special ring item up and over here as well. Pretty cool, right? So another thing too is the only thing that I've actually done as progressing through this area was I ended up getting all of the lore. So as we ended up getting more of the lore, I noticed this might not be how it works, but as far as I know, this is how it works. The lore, I think, actually just shows you where relics are on the map. So we can see that there's this relic right here, which is going to increase our swimming speed. But of course, we have to have like full 5-star equipment in order to take on that dungeon. However, I did notice that there's other relics that are now marked in the same kingdom. So these, I can only assume, are related to the fact that I ended up maxing out the lore, so we can end up getting like you know, all this extra treasure on the map, which there is the possibility that we can end up just going and grabbing it. I don't know. The other thing too is the village that we were in. So in the last episode, you noticed that the village was petrified. I think there's a witch's hut somewhere in this biome. I don't know exactly where it is. Maybe I'm mixing it up with this old hut over here, but I thought there was a witch's hut somewhere. And usually the witch is related to curing the petrification. However, there was actually another village in the same biome, and that one was not actually petrified, which is pretty cool. As for our gear, we haven't really upgraded that much. I ended up getting us an axe, and we got some gloves or whatever. That was just from identifying stuff. We already had those leftovers from the last episode. The difference was that I ended up finding that other village so that I could actually interact with the NPCs, because when the town is petrified, you can't do anything. So you can see our little fire dude actually showed up right now, and he's actually pointing us to the top of this cliff. Yeah. So I was curious about this because, you know, we didn't end up running into a quest NPC or anybody that ended up telling me about this. It's just this little treasure dude, which is pretty epic, but kind of sucks at the same time, because it means that essentially if I wanted to get like really good gear, for example, I would essentially have to go through the dungeon or go through the entire biome all over again while carrying this guy, just to make sure there wasn't anything that I ended up missing out in the world, which it doesn't really matter too much to me. You know, it's not that big of a deal. There's also been quite a few people mentioning like things that the dude can end up improving upon with the game itself. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, you know, there was some... Oh, I was going to take a screenshot, but I didn't get it. There was some patches to the game. Not really anything noteworthy. It just kind of ended up fixing a little bit of balancing things. I don't know. Anyway, so we got a purple ring already, which gives us haste, critical, and regeneration. I'll take it. That's a pretty crazy ring, honestly speaking. And then also I do want to confirm that as I ended up traveling into another biome, we did end up losing the ability of all of our gear. Like, it didn't really serve a purpose or anything. Kind of sucks. But we do see that there is actually a marker of we got this chest. So it's actually already gone and done with. That's pretty cool. So the other big thing, the other big thing that I want to end up doing today is just over here. Not these weird boss enemies, which there is... Okay, he's purple. Otherwise, I was going to say there's a possibility we can fight them, because, man alive, this warrior is tanky. I also swapped our subclass ability, so rather than us being a berserker, where we have the rock punch, which is super duper funny, it's great for traveling. Instead, we have heroic shout as our ult, which just gives us health regen. And especially because I'm playing solo, it's like there's no reason not to use it, you know? Hey guys, it's warm today. Okay, cool. What about you? You got anything? You guys probably don't have anything new to say. You have a really good axe. Okay, thank you. One day I'll be the best ranger. Oh, hello, soon I will be the mightiest ranger. Man alive, you guys must argue a lot. So up over here, in these runes, there's going to end up being this harp. And I don't know what this is actually for yet. Is that a little treasure goblin guy or something? Yeah, there we go. Here's the harp. That was just a gem gnome or whatever. So with this, we actually can use the divine harp, boink, to end up getting into the floating island. Play the divine tune to sealed areas in the Desmond Plains. Oh, maybe it's not the floating island. Maybe it's the cave. Yeah. So I'll have to take a quick little peek at my map here, because there was a couple spots that I did leave marked on the map as points of interest. I think it's actually this one right here, right? Yeah, this right here, if I'm not mistaken, is going to end up being where we'll end up using the harp. Because there's a flute that we saw, it's a little bit nearby. It's up over here, right? So if we end up getting that flute, I think it was over here, actually. We can use it on a floating island, and it'll carry us up to the floating island, and then there will be treasure over there. Which I haven't experienced that myself. A friend of mine ended up doing it, and apparently it can give you either a lot of gold or a really high level piece of loot. So that'll be cool if we end up getting something actually worthwhile. But what the harp does is kind of the exact same thing, but instead it's going to end up, whoopsie daisy, instead it's going to end up opening an underground location. So the flute makes you go up to a floating island, the harp ends up making you go underground. And we can see actually our little fire dude is already just sparking up an interest here. What treasure is he talking about nearby? I'm guessing he's just talking about this door that we're heading to, because he's always floating in the direction of whatever the point of interest is. Yeah, it's over here. So you can see that the door only fades in as we get up to it. It totally tricked me. And thank goodness we can mark things on our map. But I would argue that I really hope that he changes it so that we can leave different markers. Because it's kind of annoying that we only leave stars and then I don't know what's what, you know? So anyways, let's open this and see what's inside, gamers, because I'm really excited about this. Ooh! Ooh! A legendary chess piece, man. That's insane. Draco's pompous bronze. Okay. I guess I'm pompous. Ha! That's epic, dude. Jeez, look at that. Look at the amount of stats that we end up getting from that. It only brings us into blue category for our armor level because we don't have anything else to equip. But that is, that's crazy, man. Oh, I see. So this is going to end up being that same treasure icon. Okay, okay. So yeah, this crypt over here is the one that gave us the lore as well as just a little fire dude. That's why I didn't record it, because I thought it was just a lore area, right? So let's actually go over here. And let's go get us the flute and maybe go check out that floating island. Because to me, even though there's all sorts of dungeons we can complete, guys and gals, to me, the most important thing is we gotta get loot first and foremost. Because that'll just end up making our trifles with dungeons a lot easier. And then maybe we'll have enough time to go to those ancient rooms of Telcor over there and save the gnome. Because as we end up seeing, like, there's a lot of different gnomes on the map. As we save more and more gnomes, we're going to end up unlocking higher tiers of gear that the merchants will be able to trade with us in the shops, which is really, really cool. You know, it's growing on me. I'll say that. Like, I was very, very overly critical and skeptical when I first started playing this game because it's very different from the alpha version. But in all honesty, guys, it's growing on me. It's very different. It's very weird. But I actually like the fact that we can just focus our attention on one biome and there's so much more to do. And the fast travel points serve much more of a purpose when you're traveling around in a biome that you're trying to progress through, rather than the old version of the game, which is how I was playing this originally and why I was complaining so much about it, is like the old version was us basically just traveling out into the middle of nowhere over and over and over again, right? And then there's another spot that I have marked over there, which I think we should be able to get a pet today. Yes! We got the sky whistle. Play the sky song to reach locations high above in the Desmer Plains. So, unfortunately, there's not really any other biomes for us to explore nearby. I mean, I guess we'll kind of head in this direction because there's all of the other, relics. Oh, there's actually one way over here, too. Man alive, increases hang gliding speed. Oh, so I guess that's our day for adventure, guys. We're gonna have to start going in this direction, maybe end up taking on this swampy biome, but we're gonna have to take on all these green biomes for quite a while, and then a frost biome, and then this one over here, and then maybe we can start moving in this direction all the way towards the desert, because I would like to ultimately end up there, or maybe this desert. I don't know. My point is, I think that this game, you know, as it stands right now, we'll see how long it lasts. We'll probably, you know what? I can take these guys on. We'll probably end up doing one of every biome, and then maybe see where we're at as far as the series is concerned. Look at that. Like, look at that. We end up getting blocks. Like, when we're doing our spin attack, we're, like, highly immune to damage. So it just, we're such a tank. We're such a tank as this guy. I mean, ultimately, we have this crazy high-level armor, so... But yeah. Oh, yeah, moles. Okay. So the moles ate... what did they eat? I think they eat the chocolate donut. If I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double-check the wiki, but this could be our first pet. Do you like this, buddy? He doesn't like it. Okay. And this guy is actually not even damaging us. Maybe that's just how this game works. Like, we're too high a tier for him to end up actually hurting us, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. Oh, these are biters. These aren't moles. Okay, let me double check this, gamers. Yeah, okay, so it says that the chocolate donut is for moles, in fact. I misunderstood and thought that the biters were moles because I don't know why. Anyways, I want to go and get to... I think this is where the floating island is, if I'm not mistaken, because there's a house here, but then there's also like a floating island. There's also a little res station right there. Thankfully, the map, once you understand how to read the map, it gets a lot easier to manage, because I was able to actually just, like, what I basically ended up doing was I marked everything all over the map that I could see that was a point of interest, and then I ended up going out and exploring. And I mean, arguably it was kind of a big waste of time. Like, that's one thing that I wish that he would fix with the progression in this game, is I don't like the fact that we're going to be starting over again and again and again and again, because it's like, I really want to be able to actually go into the next biome and have a faster means of actually unlocking all the points of interest. Instead, this would be the entire game. Like, the experience that I just had of me grinding for hours, basically just walking in a straight line, unlocking everything, that gameplay element, as of right now, is the entire game. It's not going to change. Yes, you could just explore things one at a time and take your leisure with it, but it's like, for me, I would honestly rather just get it all done, so that, you know, because then I can just watch like a YouTube video or something while I'm doing it, and then the next episode can end up being a little bit more interesting for you guys, because, you know, we're not going to get this whole biome done today by any means. But at the least, now we have a lot of it unlocked, so we can just focus on the adventure aspect, which to me, I feel would make a more interesting video, in case you guys are like, but I want to see you explore things for that genuine reaction. There's not really anything super duper exciting, honestly speaking. So is this going to work? Hello? It's really quiet. Ah, yes! The birds! The birds from Zelda! Carry me to freedom, little birdies! Yes! Yes! Go to the floating island! Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Okay, so this one looks like it's just gonna be treasure. That's just a money bag if I've ever seen one. Ah! And one thing that I do want to point out as a piece of interest here, you received a bag of gold. How much did that give? How much did that give? I don't even think that gave us like 100 gold. That's pretty crazy. Whoa! Oh! Ow! But when I was in a multiplayer game, my friend ended up actually going up there, and then it, like, I think it took the loot, so I couldn't get it. If I'm not mistaken, like, multiplayer is a bit weird. You can always just go back to your single player world and do it yourself, but let's check out this old hut right here. What is this about? Anything? Oh, hey, climbing spikes. Oh, I see. So this is gonna be that's kind of useless, honestly speaking, but that's gonna be climbing spikes for this biome, which essentially is the ocean, as well as going all the way up over here. But unfortunately, all of our gear, like, look at our gear score, it's back to 0. because we're super duper weak, because we're in the new biome and it doesn't count. Now, one thing that's really weird about this game is that with each of the different biomes, you're going to end up having a different inventory associated with that biome. That's how this game deals with you having constantly resetting your progress. So you can see Sano wetlands, we have no equipment. That's because we're in this new biome and none of our gear actually carries over. Unless it has a plus by it, like our gloves do right here, they actually have a plus, so they work in this next biome, and that's why we still have 1 star to our armor. So it's a little bit weird. It's very weird. It's not just a little bit weird. But yeah, and then we'll have to check that out another time. So anyways, let's end with some combat here. Let's go to the Ruins of Telcor, because I think we have enough time for it. It says it's a 1 star, and since we've got this armor, it shouldn't be a problem for us. I actually didn't know that the game scaled us appropriately, the same as enemies do. Oh, whoopsie daisy, I'm weak, so let's actually use our shout, because that's going to start regenning us. It's just a passive way of regenning without wasting pots, which I would argue makes the warrior pretty much the best for a starting character in this game, so long as you end up swapping over to the paladin or whatever this next build is. Oh gosh. Okay, everybody, I'm going to need you guys to turn away from the video, because I'm sorry to these cute little doggos. There's also a guy up there with his bodyguard. I might have to take care of him, just because that's probably going to be a lot of XP. And nighttime is also coming as well. Look at this. We're just invincible. We're just invincible when we have high enough tiers of armor. That's really crazy, dude. I did not know that that was like a thing. Hiya! And we're actually fighting a blue dog, too. Blue doggo. I'm sorry. Those weren't real dogs. Don't worry about it. So what about this guy? Who's this buff dude? I've never seen this before. He's part of the Explorers Guild. What? Hey, man. Can I be a class like that? Hey, dude. You haven't found the rare book of something. It must be at the something lava lake. Okay. What about you? Do you say anything cool? So you couldn't find the magic crafting book yet? I wish you the best of luck. Okay, so that, I guess, is just going to be a piece of treasure that'll ultimately end up giving us more crafting components or something. But unfortunately, guys and gals, you notice that nighttime is starting to come around. So I'm going to have to head back to town and reset it today. And then we'll end up going right back to that spot we were just at. I still sincerely wish that he made the game actually generate fast travel points properly. Like, a village, I feel, should generate a fast travel point in the middle of it all the time. And there might be one, but it's not obvious enough. Like, they should be marked on the map or something, or be a little bit more obvious, I think, just because of the emphasis on exploration. We need it, man. Seriously. So another thing, too, that I didn't even consider that we can possibly end up doing is, here's the Eagle Merchant. So we can actually, I think I talked about this in the last episode, but didn't actually show you guys. We can use this guy's services to fly us to different destinations. He's extremely overpriced, because look at this. 100 gold to fly over here when I can literally just fast travel to it. No thanks, idiot. Like, that is just totally needs a nerf. But the point is that we could possibly end up going to this village over here after we've cured it. And then we could use his fast travel to end up getting us next to these relics and stuff. That said, again, I don't really think that the eagle guy, like, I don't think that buying a griffin is actually worthwhile in any regard, just because if you can just swim over to it, walk over to it, whatever, it takes an amount of time in real life, sure, but the amount of gold that you're going to have to grind back from actually taking that traveling services is basically going to end up equating the same amount of time anyways. And then if you're actually walking, you'll end up getting fast travel points along the way, because there is a high possibility that you could fast travel to somewhere, drop down, and then end up having your character get absolutely wrecked by something, and then you just end up respawning back near town, and then you would have to just pay for the services again, which is like so stupid, you know. Like, it's a cool mechanic, but I would argue that the griffin or taxi or whatever, the only purpose for it is pretty much just so you can end up joining your friends. Yeah. Okay, so can we actually take on these rock dudes now that we've got the armor to... Yup. Why are we just invincible, dude? Like, it feels wrong. Maybe that's just what happens when you get legendary armor, in which case, okay, now we're taking damage. That was okay. So I guess their powered attacks still end up hurting us a lot or something like that. There it is, boys. There's the dungeon that we're going to take on. Sorry about that ding sound. And you guys will notice at the top of the screen as well. Unfortunately, I have to play this game in windowed mode because full screen crashes a lot for a lot of people. Are these moles? Hey, these are moles. They look the exact same as biters, but they're moles. Just trust me, okay? Anyways, let's tame this guy. Or is there a green one? Here, buddy. Our first pet. Oh my gosh. There you go. Oh my god. I can pick him up. Why can I pick him up? It's like a totem pole. Go, little buddy. Go. Okay, so apparently these guys are supposed to scale with us. I don't know. But let's go check this out. Hey guys. I'm going to attack your mole hole. I don't even care. I mean, there's honestly no reason on even fighting these guys, because whenever an enemy has a respawn point, for some reason they don't give you anything. Like, they don't give you money or whatever. So it's like, what is the point? I don't know. Okay, so here we go. I think I've already gotten this lore thing. And if I'm not mistaken, there's like a boss nearby. Those are some weird looking enemies. Demon Marauder. They look so cool. So this... Oh, it increased our lore to 110%. Okay. It's interesting. Does that mean that you can't always get 100% lore just because maybe it's messed up in some locations? Okay, these guys look really, really cool, Molly, but we're gonna have to take them down, okay? They really like that guy. Get out of here, you! I'm just gonna spin to win. There we go. You helped the supplier gnome. I'm grateful. He's burning alive. He's in the fire. Okay, well, anyways. And our mole is just charging up. Like, geez Louise. Very cool, gamers. Very cool. Okay. Come on, Molly. Let's get out of here. Whoop. So, I guess that ultimately was, yeah, this isn't as powerful as our axe because it's a one-handed weapon. Oh, but this might be better. No, that's a one-handed as well instead of two-handed. I like the two-handed stuff. But yeah, that should ultimately end up making the shops have more gear. So we can possibly just check that out today. Yeah, let's actually head back to the town. Maybe, actually, you know what? We'll head back to the town, and then I'm going to take a quick peek if I can find that stupid witch lady that I swear was on our map. I probably just, like, misplaced where she was. So I did end up actually finding her on the map. It doesn't actually show a witch icon because I don't think I actually visually made contact with her in the game. But there is an old hut that we can go and interact with. However, before we end up doing that, is this... Oh, that's a shield. Weird. Before we end up doing that, I want to check what we've got in this shop, in this town, now that we've actually interacted with the gnome. And then we're going to go and slay the witch. And then that should remove the curse from the petrified village. And then we can go and see what items they'll end up selling to us. And then we'll probably end up calling it a day. Ooh, so we got... Well, it's a second ring, so I may as well take it. The amulet's not that great. The gloves are way better, so why not just take those? This is silver amulet, which apparently is just exactly what we already have. So I can get rid of this blue sword, get rid of that sword, give ourselves... Oh, I got a right click to put that on. Give ourselves the better gloves, sell these, and I just want to check the inventory guy over here. I'd recommend that any of you guys playing this, you know, maybe you're waiting for the full release, but go and check this guy's inventory all the time, anytime you can in a shop, because as of right now, you can see cotton candy. I already have this item, so I can't purchase another one, but cotton candy is going to be another food item, so that is going to end up being for capturing a certain pet. And what you're going to want to do is try to have all the different food items so that you can end up capturing all the different pets. You can only have one of these in your inventory at a time. This is also where you can buy glass flasks, and then you go to a river, you craft, you know, fill it with water, and then you end up combining it with a heart flower in order to end up making a potion. Crikey, there's the witch's house now. I can't do an Australian accent to save my life. Anyways, let's just pretend that that never happened. Oh, these guys must be her escort. All right, you guys are going down. Shh, shh, shh. Molly, come here. Shh, shh, shh. Get him, Molly. Molly? I'll do it myself. Ah! Spin to win, you foolish mortals. All I ever do is spin with this guy. Oh, we just got a food item as well. What was that? That was like a fruit basket. Is that for a llama? The moly is not my favorite, honestly. Don't tell him I said that, though. Oh, you stupid old witch. Let me use my heal power, because I knew you were going to use your laser of death, which is a godlike move. Yeah! Okay, you're going down, crazy lady. So when you're dealing with the laser attack, usually it'll just one-shot you. Thankfully, we've got insane survivability. I mean, I say that. Yeah, look, we get block power while we're spinning. Okay, that's what's going on. And at least we've got that precious regen, because otherwise this witch, she killed Molly! No! Revenge kill! You defeated the witch, got a lot of money, and a whole bunch of side items. All right. Her curse has been broken, and the villagers of village are no longer petrified. Well, we ended up losing Molly because of it. Oh, he's back. I was going to say our pets will end up respawning, but I didn't expect him to just spawn that quickly. As much as I would love to do this other gnome area right over here, let's go and check out Village. Hello, Village. You must give me your gold, for I have saved your entire town. They don't know who I am. Yeah, sure. Sorry, mister, but I don't really know who. Ooh, and an iron greatsword. Oh, that looks so cool. But I can't use it over the axe, and it's way more expensive for less stats, but it looks awesome. Oh, so this is a rogue item, mage item. We got shoulder pads. Cool. Now I can cover my shoulders. See, shoulders to a reptilian such as myself are very risque. So it's nice that we get to cover our shame. What about you? Do you have anything? Dusty old gold ring. Garbage. Garbage. I've got a legendary. I don't need any of your trash. But at least we can see maybe this guy will end up having a different type of food. And, oh, I was going to say if we had any leftovers, but it doesn't seem like it. What about you, Buster? Candy. I don't know what pet that's for, but I should really check, because we've actually got quite a bit of food now. Yeah. And I don't really feel like augmenting our axe just because it's only green, but that's going to do it for today, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Hope you've been enjoying this series, and if you have, smash like, sub for more. This game is getting more interesting by the moment. I'm actually really excited about this, because when it first came out and I was approaching it as if it was the alpha version of the game and all the bad history about like this game being developed for 6 years, blah, 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 blah. Putting all of those politics to the side and just taking this game for what it is as just a random indie game that just now came out on Steam, it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's really difficult and you got to know how to play it. It forces you to play it a very specific way, but I'm liking it more and more. And I hope you guys are going to enjoy the series, because this game's not going away for a long time, folks. Sign on, stay epic, gamers.